Can I say the same thing? Is it same kind of job, same kind of, like, he's building stuff? And he's
I'm not building anything anymore, but I'm in janitor's closet now most of the time.
Janitor's closet?
Yeah, because I run that big scrubber in the mornings.
Oh, okay.
And clean up the break room and stuff like that.
Okay.
It's a lot easier than receiving was.
Okay.
Oh, receiving had that heavy flooring every day.
So I shouldn't say anything like he's hiding in the janitor's closet, right?
Hold on. 2 seconds.
Yeah, that'll work.
He's hoping you wouldn't remember he's here.
So I'm on this.
Exactly.
Okay.
Shut the door.
So I gotta set this up.
Okay.
We're live right now.
We are live right now. Thank you so much, Chris.
So I gotta set this.
So I shouldn't say anything like he's hiding in the janitor's closet.
Hold on. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the second annual, the second question and answer on the Skylar case, Skylar Neese case murder. We're joined with us with my buddy Geoff Fuller, the author of the book Pretty Little Killers,
And Skylar.
and Chris Berry, one of the investigating officers that helped solve the case. Thank you very much for being here with us. Start flying the questions. One of them I had earlier was, how did Mary and I marriage survive all this turmoil? And I think it's basically because we didn't blame one another. There was nobody to blame but the two killers, so we didn't blame one another.
It was like set up perfect.
And it went,
Unless it was just something
that's pretty much how we didn't fight about it or anything, because I think we needed each other too. We didn't have time for fighting. We were both basket cases. So
Yeah, the odds were against you.
the odds were definitely stacked against us.
Way against you.
And I think it's like a 98% rate,
Yeah.
But Mary and I survived it, and we'll keep on. And thank you for the question. Skylar's favorite color. Anybody know?
Well, I'll guess.
Hold on.
And I won't guess green. I won't guess
We're still waiting.
yellow.
We had to do new
or
posts.
blue. Oh, that's right.
How many books do you have to your credit?
Oh,
What's
you
working
mean
for
as a
me?
writer or as an editor?
It's a new link though.
Okay.
As an editor, over 100. As a writer, probably, I don't know, 6 or 8.
No, this one.
That's amazing.
First book was actually as a
Well, this
guide
one's
to
working.
graduate programs in sport marketing.
Oh, cool.
That came out.
All right, so we're on. We're live.
Okay.
I can't see an option to add chat though. Do you have it on your link? Like if
In
people
the
want to chat
80s,
in
'cause
questions?
I
Had to hear your.
was working in the
Oh,
publishing
people.
place.
Okay, they're coming in. Okay.
All right, we're rock and roll.
Flaked
Did
out.
everybody hear okay? That is online.
Give us a thumbs up.
If somebody could just put it in the chat. I know they said it was a little hard to hear with the background noise, but now that we've got all of that figured out.
All right, I'd like to introduce, first of all, not on camera, is the lovely and talented Stephanie Berry.
Are they hearing anything yet?
Yes,
Okay.
they gave us a thumbs up.
Next to my right is the author of one of the co-authors of the book, Pretty Little Killers, Geoffrey Fuller, who has about 30 books to his credit he's written. Great guy, very knowledgeable. And to my left is the man himself, Chris Berry. Without him, we wouldn't be able to do this because it's all his equipment. So he's been kind enough to let us do this. So thank you, Chris. Thank you, Stephanie.
You're very
and thank you,
welcome.
Geoff.
Very welcome.
Yeah, and I don't want to contradict Dave, but I'm not 30 is a bit much, I think.
Okay, well, 8. How's that?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. So let us have the questions, Stephanie.
We're still waiting some to come in. So
Well-
if anybody has any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat here. And just note if there are any questions that are maybe a little sensitive, please feel free to reach out if we don't get to address them on the chat through the social medias that, Dave has set up as well, the Skylar Neese page.
Yeah, and real quick, as we're just kind of waiting for people to still come in and get started, we could be here for an hour, could be here for 2 hours, so we'll keep it going as long as we can. If the questions keep coming in, we'll keep answering them. We'll keep telling the stories as it is, but I'm going to give a few shout outs, especially if you look at the hat in front of you. We're at Gene's Beer Garden here in Morgantown, West Virginia. It's actually one of the oldest bars. We're downstairs in the Speakeasy. This is the original Speakeasy. But I really want to thank Al Bonner, the owner, for letting us come down here. I also use this for my interviews with the Echoes channel, my paranormal ghost hunting team, Echoes. So I want to give him a big shout out and thank you for letting us come down here and use this, as always. A few shout outs. I want to shout out to everybody who's been watching. Thank you for being on Team Skylar and helping support Dave Neese and Mary Neese and his family. As always, you guys have been a huge help for them. You've helped them get through some really tough times. There's been many nights I've gotten phone calls from Dave Neese, and hearing from people like you that reach out to him just makes his day. He loves it. I want to give a few shout outs to some people back at home that asked me to give them shout outs to, but Nick Sale, Tom Kelleher, both work under both Horry County Police Department. I work with at the schools. Great guys. Unfortunately, I just found out today we'll miss them. I'm getting a new job, so it's been great and a pleasure working with you. But definitely a shout out to Nick Sale, Tom Keller, his wife Stephanie. I want to give a shout out to all the guys I work with at my job. It's been a pleasure and great working with you. But I am going to be moving on to new ventures. So, Dave, does anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I do. I want to give a shout out to Jackie Morgan. She has been my go-to for anything I need written. She also wrote Forever 16, which is a poem I can post on Facebook later on, but she's a phenomenal writer, a very, very nice person, and thank you, Jackie. Also, Kathy Brown and Barry Bach, two of the admins on Team Skylar. They are awesome. They don't, if they have question about whether it's, should be on there or not, they don't bother me. They take care of it themselves. I love that. They have my back, as 99.9% of you do, and I thank you for that. I really appreciate it. So, one thank you to my wife for putting up with me. Mary, I love you. And thank you for putting up with me. I think that's about all the thank yous I have. Other than my friends at work that I've asked to tune in and send me a question. Thank you, friends at work. Please send me a question. And it's back to Stephanie.
All right. So the first question that's came up is, did you and Mary not suspect anything as far as the relationship as friends towards Skylar? So was there any, nothing to suspect, that, made you question her friendship with Rachel and Sheila?
Yeah, there was all kind of stuff. There was, oh God, we found some stuff on the internet one time, and it was very disturbing. We took it to one of their mothers to read, and she started laughing about it and said, "Oh, my daughter didn't write this." I said, "She did so. It's right there." "Oh, they changed passwords and all this stuff. She didn't write that." And I said, "Okay." Well, that night, Skylar was going to spend the night with them, but we took Skylar home, and we had a talk with Skylar about it. As parents with teens know, it does no good to say, stay away from this person, because they're just going to go around them that much more, So, yeah, we had problems with the relationship she had with Sheila and Rachel. She let those two girls walk all over her, but she thought they were friends. Well, you see what kind of friends they were.
The next question is, do you think the speech that Rachel gave during her parole was somewhat genuine or remorseful?
No, not even close. Those girls have, and Chris will bow this, those girls have done nothing but lie the entire time this was going on. They lied about everything. And why should I believe them 15 years later, 10 years later, when they say that, I'm truly sorry. One thing she did say during that parole thing, I wish I could change places with Skylar. hey, I wish you could too.
I saw back in the original hearing that when she was getting sentenced and everything, Rachel, the thing that I wondered about was when she was apparently crying. But she was crying with her shoulders going up and down, which I've only seen that on movies and on the theater and stuff like that. That didn't look like real to me. And then at one point she had her face in her hands, and then she turned her head and looked as if she was looking to see who was watching, and you know, I don't know that either of those things are true, but that's the sense that I got.
Well, you just remember she was an actor.
Yeah, she was a stage.
She was the plays and all that. She was in the drama club and all that. So I mean, she was acting. I mean,
when her shoulders were bouncing up and down, that thought occurred to me after just 20 seconds. I went, "Geez,
that's stuff that Chris and Geoff probably would catch on faster than I would, because they're trained for that. You know, they're trained to catch a liar. They're trained to find out when somebody's, not so much Geoff, but all the research he's done. Yeah, and they know how to tell if you're lying. And trust me, when a cop asks you a question, they already know the answer. So it's best not to lie to them. Oh, before I forget, I do want to give one shout out to Heather Blake. Heather is a girl that made some mistakes in the past. She was actually locked up in Lakin with Killer 1 and Killer 2. She doesn't care for them either. And she's come out of Lakin. She's turned her entire life around, and she just was accepted to nursing school.
Oh,
so,
good.
Way to go, Heather. We're all proud of you. Keep it up, girl. Okay.
Don't have any other YouTube chat just yet.
I got some here on that we'll go through. On the Facebook. Once again, I apologize if I hack or destroy any of your names. Some of these are pretty good and easy, but I've had some that were pretty rough to mention out, so we'll start out with these. Annabelle Bryant, this is for Dave. Skylar's favorite clothing store.
Oh, man. Mary, you're going to be better on this one than me. Mary's going to be able to tell you the clothing store. And I don't know, what was that one for teens that was at the mall?
There were several.
Oh, God, yeah.
Abercrombie, I mean, it was...
American Eagle, Abercrombie.
No, I think just probably what most teens go for, you know. She had a wide variety of taste in clothes and music and just about everything. She was very well-rounded. She even liked Bob Marley. And that's really cool.
Also, she wore all the weed shirts.
Yeah, that's about right, yeah.
This is from Rebecca Fry. What advice does Dave have for other people going through a traumatic situation in life?
Number one, don't quit. Okay, you're going to have every opportunity in the world to quit. Don't surround yourself with friends. And the friends will get you through the most part of it, but you have to make that determination whether you're going to give up or you're going to keep pulling. You got to keep pulling, man. You got to keep going through it, because if you don't, then you're going to end up a statistic. I can't say that word, but it's all about how much you want to live life. And to me, I wouldn't trade life for anything. It's a good feeling to be alive. Of course, I don't know the alternative, but you know, just don't give up. Just keep fighting.
Yeah, and I'd like just to put a point on what Dave said, is don't hole up. My tendency is to hole up in myself, not to reach out and talk to anybody. Get out of where you live, talk to other people, things like that. Even if it's not about that incident, it keeps the keeps everything moving.
Good point.
All right. Next question from Rebecca Fry. How did Dave and Mary's marriage survive the tragedy? They're an inspiration and for every married couple.
Thank you. Like I just touched on that briefly, but we didn't blame one another for what happened. It wasn't our fault. We knew that. We knew there was only two people to blame. And I don't think either one of us would have made it through without the other. We really bonded, and we knew we were each other's rock at the time, and we had to have that.
This is a 4-part question from Rebecca. So the third one is, why was Rachel allowed to take a vacation out of state so far along in the murder investigation?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
I am not going to answer that. That's something I just can't answer on. That wasn't something I was involved in, and but
I
I'm
didn't
just not
even
going to
know it
answer.
happened. So, I mean, I have no idea. You have any?
No idea.
No, that's something you would have to.
I assume the police knew what they were doing, but I don't know,
Yeah,
what
because
they
it's
were
definitely not
thinking.
a question they asked me, because I didn't even know about Rachel being involved until later on. So, I don't know.
The last thing I want to do is ruffle any more feathers.
Right.
What time in the morning / early night did they return to Rachel's house after their crimes? Did Rachel really forget her cell phone there? I could actually answer that.
Yeah.
You're talking about Blacksville. Yes, Rachel did lose her cell phone during the moment it happened. What happened was, after it was all done, you gotta remember, we pinged our phones at 1 o'clock in the morning there at Blacksville, and then we pinged Sheila's phone around, could be wrong, but I'm gonna say approximately between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. That's when she went back to retrieve Rachel's cell phone.
Oh, so Sheila went back to get Rachel's
Yeah.
cell phone. Okay.
So that's how that was, and that supposedly did happen. So yes. Before the scene. Okay, this is from Rob and Kim. Why are they going to give such light sentences since it was premeditated?
Well,
It's not really light sentences. I mean, that's. I mean, we're not. They got what the law states. I mean,
Yeah.
This is what. I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, it's literally. Well, I'm not trying to be mean about it. Just it's if it's 20, 25 years, that's where it is. It's not like I mean, yeah, it could be life. It could not be life. I mean, they will be up for parole, but they can be denied parole many a times. I tried my best to come up to Dave every time there's a parole hearing and help give a testimony and go from there. But I wouldn't say they were light sentences. The max for 22 years for second degree that Rachel got, that's where it is. I mean, if it is 22 years, she's out. I mean, that's just how the law's written. It's nothing that the police, the prosecutors, the judges, nobody can change. I mean, that's just how the law's written. I always tell everybody when they look at West Virginia laws and it's kind of jacked up, always look and say, hey, welcome to West Virginia. I mean, this is our laws. I mean, this is where it is.
The judge and prosecutors just enforce the laws.
Yeah, we just do our job, and we did our job.
and the judge actually he gave some indication at the time that he wanted to sentence at least Sheila to life without parole, but he was not allowed to because of the Supreme Court ruling a couple of years before that said you can't give life without parole to people under 18.
Under 18.
And so his hands were tied, and he said something about that at the time. He said something, I don't remember exactly what he said, but it was something like he indicated that he would like to give life without parole, but his hands were tied on that. And as far as Rachel getting a lesser sentence had to do with the fact that she turned state's evidence, and that was her reward for telling the authorities what happened.
Right.
All right, I got 2 more questions for Rob and Kim, but we're actually going to turn over to Steph real quick, and I'll get back to Rob and Kim with the other questions and the other questions that are on Facebook as well.
We have a few from YouTube. So from Luis, this one's from Joyce. When you found out that Skylar was with the 2 girls the night she didn't come home, did you think the 2 girls knew something about her disappearance?
At that time, no, because I thought they were truly her best friends, especially Sheila Eddy. I thought they were inseparable. Why would they lie about that, And as the case went deeper and deeper, I thought, they're hurting as much as we are. They want their best friend back. So the girls had me buffaloed. They had Mary fooled. They had everybody fooled. except for, I can't say everybody fooled, but they had a lot of people fooled.
And then Alyssa Mafarin, I apologize if I'm butchering anybody's name as well. Since you've known Sheila since her childhood, have you ever noticed any signs of mental disorder or weird behavior?
I've known who since childhood?
Sheila?
Sheila.
No, I didn't. Skylar and her went to the same daycare thing, the Shack neighborhood house, which is an awesome place, but I didn't really know her. I just knew who she was. And we weren't, super close with them then. Her and Skylar didn't get super close until they hit high school. So, I can't answer that.
And
go ahead.
Well, when we were writing the book, we were told all sorts of stories by people that sounded as if there were things that indicated some various problems. But, people talk, and you can't really rely on them for telling you the truth necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard several stories. One of the problems was that several of the stories indicated the same kind of behavior on Sheila's part, but these people all went to school together and they talked to each other all the time. And, something like this happens in a high school. I mean, anyone who's been to high school knows it's going to take about a week to come up with all kinds of true stories.
Exactly.
And I did laundry one day at a laundromat while we were in the middle of this whole case, and there were two girls there who claimed to live in Blacksville. I heard them talking and various things, and I thought, finally I said, "Are you from Blacksville?" And they said, "Oh yeah." And I said, "Well, have you ever heard?" And they started to tell me elaborate stories about Skylar leaving what they were watching a movie before, and then Skylar left with two guys in a pickup truck, and they just had the most instant, elaborate story. And I knew that it was all BS, but, I was amazed at how quickly they came up with nonsense.
Right, just off the top of their head.
And I don't know if they'd been rehearsing that among themselves or what, but you get a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
Then the cops have to figure out what's true and what ain't.
Right.
It's a nightmare. It's a headache. I mean, there's every cop I spoke to from West Virginia, South Carolina, and all that, where I currently reside now, is we all have the same stories, and it's the same thing. And, nothing changes.
Right.
It goes back to the old show, it's still not an old show, but Live PD. Everybody goes, "You watch that?" And I said, "No, because you can call play-by-play. We know what's going to happen."
Exactly.
But yeah.
A huge shout out to my cousin Joyce. I love you, cuz.
Next one is from Pinkberry. Does their families blame you guys for their sentences that they got? They said, "I hope not, because they did wrong, not you guys. Skylar will always be remembered."
I don't think so. Well, why would they blame me? It's not my fault they raised a killer.
I haven't heard anything that was blame. If anybody blamed me the most, I was blamed the most from Rachel's mom and Sheila's mom. They didn't like me, but they didn't like Rachel's mom didn't like me or Agent Spurlock from the FBI. But
I don't think any of the parents liked you.
So,
but him and Ronnie played that so well, that good cop, bad cop thing. Because if they thought, well, we can't get anywhere with Chris, we'll try to be nice to Ronnie, and Ronnie just made him look stupid too. So, kudos to both of you guys. Played that perfectly.
And we have Luis again that said, "Have you heard much about what their life is like now in prison?"
Yeah, I've heard a lot about it.
It's on the podcast really well too.
Yeah, and you know what? As far as I'm concerned, I don't care. I mean, I'm going to hear all kind of stuff about them, and it really used to bother me a lot. Thinking that they got PlayStations in their cells and they're playing games and what else they got to do? I could care less. They, at the end of the day, they are locked up in prison doing fairly decent time. And they should be. That's where they belong. Animals belong in cages. Dangerous animals belong in cages. And that's where they are.
And I'd like to throw out another caution there. It's like the other situation we were talking about. Whatever you hear about their lives behind, it may or may not be true. Mm-hmm. People make stuff up. So just keep that in mind.
Oh
if you-
yeah,
if you
people.
hear stuff.
There's a lot of people are full of shit. I'll get mine.
That was one of the most eye-opening things for me on that, writing about the case and doing the research and stuff like that, was finding out how much people lie. I didn't realize how bad that was.
It's phenomenal. We've heard more lies than we've heard truth, haven't we?
All the time.
It's been, since they asked me this question on WAJR one morning, they said, Dave, how'd you get through it? Well, Mary was a big key, and also this guy here, Chris, and Geoff, I was telling the story, so that kind of helped me also, but Chris, he was there almost every day. He'd stop by the apartment and say, hey, how's it going? Are you feeling, do you need anything? I'm like, damn, that's a state cop, man. That's really cool that he's doing that. And we get to be good friends, and here we are 10 years later, 15 years later, whatever it's been, and we're still good friends. And I still rely on him to kick me in the butt when I'm wrong, and he does. And he helps me through a lot of this and stuff that I can't work out myself. I call Chris, and if Mary can't help me with it, a lot of times, there's so many people out there that say, hey, if you ever need anything, give me a call. Call about 5 of them and see what they say. Oh, I can't help you. So, if you're gonna say it, live up to it, So, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. And then it was, Pinkberry just said, it still bothers me that Sheila went to Skylar's room when she was helping to find her. That still sickens me.
That will stick with me for the rest of my life. I would, God, if I could have that moment back.
But yeah, once again, that's typical of criminals. They always go back to the scene of the crime. Not saying the scene of crime happened there, but it pretty much damn near started
Do they
there.
insert themselves into the investigation?
They will.
Okay.
Absolutely, 100%. They want to know just as much.
As the police know.
Yeah.
Because every day Sheila would text me and say, what have the police told you?
Yeah, she was there just to play the game and see where you were at, what you were going to say, and all that.
And she would have never broke. Sheila would never broke. She is that kind of sick up here that
that woman is
I
pure
don't
evil.
care. She's pure evil. That's the only way you can say it. Exactly. Chris hit it. Sheila is evil to the core. And all you people out there that are making friends with her and sending her notes and stuff, think about this. She killed her best friend. Think about that. What's she gonna do if she gets mad at you? Think.
I don't know how they add that one on, because that's true. I don't. It was like the nighttime stalker where girls were sending him nude pictures and all that, and it's an ugly guy who was going out raping and killing women. It's like, why would you do that? But people get the thrill like that. I don't get it, don't understand it, never will, but it happens.
That's why people sending those girls money. What in the hell is wrong with you? They're not celebrities. They are cold-blooded killers. They deserve nothing. Okay? If you're sending them your hard-earned money, you're an idiot too. Thank you.
Tara said, I took my daughter to Skylar's memorial and told her the story so that she is on alert and always watchful. I left stickers there for everyone to take.
That's so cool. Thank you. Thank you very much. The more people that know it, the more or less likely it is to happen again.
And that's all I have on the YouTube chat for right now.
All right, let's get back to Rob and Kim on Facebook. I can't understand how Piece of Shit 2 is up for parole ever. What's wrong with the judicial system like that? Once again, it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
She wanted to make a comment. I'm honored to be part of this support group. Thank you for sharing and allowing us to continue to support Mary and your family.
Thank you.
Meredith Williams, more seriously, did they let you know why Piece of Shit number 2, which would be Rachel, lost her parole hearing? Glad either way. Can't imagine you having to revisit it annually.
It is, and when somebody's going to go up for parole, it is what it is. You got to do it. And it's more important for me to be there with my friends than and family, and know that I'm trying my best to keep her in there, because she doesn't deserve freedom. She doesn't deserve anything. Neither one of them do. They are nothing but evil. And if you people don't believe that, I'm sorry, but proof's in the pudding. Go ahead.
2 seconds. All right. Meredith Williams again. I don't know why we keep bringing this up. I still want to know who Mia Barr and Josie Scott are.
Yeah, so do we all.
Yeah, we all would. I mean, I can promise you it's not me. I don't know, like everybody's still thinking it was us.
Yeah.
It's not. It was not me. It was not Ronnie. It was not
Mary
anybody from the
does know who it
70s.
was.
Mary?
Yeah, she does.
So we do know who it is.
We do know who
Okay.
it was, yeah, but I'm
Can
not.
you please tell me it was not Chris Berry?
It was not Chris
Okay.
Berry, no. It was not Dave Neese. It was not Jeff Fuller. It wasn't Stephanie. It was somebody else.
Okay. As long as we clear that out.
Okay.
Who specifically Mia was? She knows who Mia was, or who there was.
I know who
Josie
came through later and said she was, but
okay. So we don't even.
Mary knows
actually
who
know
they
that.
were, and that's cool.
I've got one while you're searching.
Go ahead.
Let's see. This is from Kirkland. It says, hello fellows, so happy to be able to join in. What is the biggest thing that any of you have learned through this, especially you, Brother Dave and Mary? Much love.
That's Kirk. Kirk's a good guy. The biggest thing I've learned is never, ever trust anyone. And God, I hate to say that, because there is people you can trust. You can trust. I hope you can trust your mom and dad. I hope you can trust your clergyman. I hope you can trust police officers. But sometimes you can't. Don't give your 100%. Here, I'm going to trust you. Make them earn that trust. Trust is not something that can be given away. It's something that should be earned. And please, if you ever have any questions about it, text me. I've talked to men, women, I've talked to children, I've talked to all kind of people who are having problems, and I'm an addict, and I'll be one till the day I die, and I've talked to them too. There is nothing that's out of bounds as far as living your life. And if you live your life on your terms and do what's legal and do what's good, then good things will happen.
What about you guys? They asked for each of you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading through the question. What's the question again?
Oh, no. Just what was the biggest thing any of you learned through this? So from, the cop perspective.
Once again, trust. I mean, I got a daughter now. Stephanie and I have a beautiful daughter, 4 years old.
Absolutely gorgeous.
But when this all happened, this whole case happened, you got to remember, you're looking at 16-year-old girls. All beautiful girls. I mean, I hate to say it's about the two lowlifes, but, they were gorgeous girls. Never just look at them and you're one inkling you'd think they'd commit this type of crime. And then find out just the way they planned it, they committed it, they done it, and they tried to hide it. It comes back to my daughter now, because before I didn't have a child when this was all going on, but now having a child, it scares you. And yeah, you're damn right I'm going to be bringing this case up to her and talking to her about having her watch the documentaries if they're still available to watch. I will make her watch those just to show us, like, listen, when I'm trying to be that father and say, be careful what you're doing, and they go, all daddy don't know is like, well, here you go, let's watch this and let's rethink life. I can even call Dave and have Dave talk to her.
Absolutely.
When she gets to that point of dating or going out with friends and all that stuff. But it's one of those things. Once again, as a cop, you think you've seen all, then you wait till the next day, the next shift, and you just keep seeing more. So,
Yeah, I just reiterate what I was saying before. I just had no idea how many people lie and how often they lie, and it's just astonishing. I mean, I knew everyone told white lies, you know, like, no, you look great, or whatever, but not the degree to which people make up stories, and also the degree to which a lot of them believe what they're saying, so they don't come across as lies because they believe them, and that's kind of disillusioning, I guess.
Yeah, at the time, we were willing to listen to anyone that had information on Skylar. I even offered to give my car away to some guy that said he knew where Skylar was. And I said, no, you can't tell me, you have to produce her. You have to show me where she is, and I'll go get her, but she has to be there. This guy was saying, well, she's got to be with such and such, so when can I pick your car up? And I said, oh my God. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I think we call those people grifters.
Yeah.
One question here on Facebook from Susan Bolliard. Can you share one of your favorite memories of Skylar?
Yes, thanks, Susan. She's awesome. She's my old high school buddy, and she's actually the one that her and her husband built that big bench out at Skylar's site.
Okay.
So
Beautiful bench.
Yeah,
Yes,
nice,
it is.
very nice.
And thank you, Susan. My favorite. Everybody knows about the tea party, I'm sure. They don't. I will tell the deer hunting story since it's deer season. I came home from deer hunting one time, and Skylar was probably 6 at the time, and my little baby was waiting right at the door to greet me, and she said, Daddy, did you catch anything? I said, no, honey, you don't catch deer, you shoot them. Her face just went blank, and she looked at me and said, shoot? With a gun? And I said, yeah, that's how you shoot them, with a gun. She said, oh, Daddy, that could hurt them. And I'm thinking, that's what it's supposed to do, is hurt them. So I said, baby, if we don't shoot them, they'll starve to death or get hit by cars. Or said, no. And that's the only thing she would say was no. And about 15 no's later, she stopped and she said, you will never, ever go out deer hunting again. And to this day, I have not been deer hunting again, so something worked. But my baby girl had so many cool stories, she really did. The tea party was a classic. She, told her when her mommy had to work, it was Skylar Daddy Day. We could do anything she wanted within reason. And that day we decided it was cold, it was rainy, we decided to have a tea party. So Skylar was the waitress and I was the customer, and I was paying her with fake money. And she'd bring her little pitcher out and set it down there and fill my cup up, and I drank, probably 20 cups, telling her how good the tea was and all this. Well, then she came, got another pitcher and dumped it in there, and I drank more of it. I probably drank 3 of those pitchers full by the time we were done. And Mary gets home from work and she looks at me and says, what are you guys doing? Skylar said, I want to tell her. So she runs out and says, we are playing tea party. Daddy is the customer and I am the waitress. And Mary said, well, that's good. She looked at me and said, Dave, you realize she can't reach the faucet, right? And I said, my face went blank. And I said, Skylar, show Daddy where you're getting the water from. She grabs my hand, pulls me to the bathroom, points to the toilet and says, right there. I said, oh, dear God, no. Oh, I was furious at the time, but it was kind of funny. And I said, baby, we don't drink out. The cat does. And I said, I don't care what the cat does. Don't yell at me. I said, oh, my God, that was a classic. That really was. Poor baby had been filling me full of commode water for the last hour.
Pinkberry had asked, is there a way to take down that one video where Skylar, Rachel, and Sheila were playing Would You Rather?
I don't have it. I don't have it.
Yeah,
I don't know who has that video, but I don't have it.
I don't know if it's posted on a social or
Yeah, I don't.
somewhere.
It probably is on one of those websites that people have not asked me my permission to do stories about Skylar, and somebody put it on one of those. And out there's a lot of people that did not ask my permission to do stories, and some of these people have gotten thousands and thousands of dollars for doing stuff about Skylar. And do you think any of them will share it with us? No, but that's okay. You gotta live with yourself, So
This one, Jeff's probably gonna be more for you. This is a Kayla Harris. She said, I heard the book was kind of false. Is that true?
I don't think it is. We've had everything was checked and double checked, and there were a lot of things that we didn't say because we weren't legally allowed to say them. So maybe that's what people are picking up on. There were a number of things that we didn't say because we didn't have it nailed down that it was true. So what I can say is that everything that's in the book is true. If there's some other facts that cast a different light on something, those may not be in the book because we weren't legally allowed to say them. But as far as, is it false? No, there's nothing false in there.
And then from Alyssa, are there aspects of the case that still trouble you, questions you wish had been asked?
What now? Sorry, I'm reading this one question. It's kind of got me a little jarred. I'm trying to figure out this question here.
Are there aspects of the case that still trouble you, questions you wish had been asked?
Oof. No, I mean, I think myself, Ronnie, Agent Spurlock, Jessica Colbank, we did the best we could. I mean, and I think the reason why we did the best we could is the reason why we're here. I mean, we got to solve it, put the pressure on them. I mean, once again, you got to remember, it's like I said, the last live broadcast, we looked at these girls as innocent, as witnesses, victims that witnessed a crime, or just, even if it was just a typical runaway, I mean, just not even dreaming of this being a murder, not even dreaming of what they committed, what they done. But I think the route we took, and like any route we would always take as law enforcement would go on. We did our best, and we got to the point, and it put pressure on them, and then that's when we started to find out more stuff and started digging in more, and it was just that little bit of digging, and kept hitting good spots and found more treasure, and that treasure being evidence of the crime and putting pressure on the girls.
right,
So,
good answer.
Yeah, I'd like to go back to the question about the book being false. Another aspect of that is that there are things that people might think are true that aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a lot of stories that, as you know, Chris, and you've probably heard too, Dave, that there were a lot of stories that people were asserting were the case or the reality, and they just weren't. They were just, I mean, like the party out in Blacksville, I mean, there were all kinds of things that were supposedly true that, when checked, when actually run down, weren't. And so a lot of people may think certain things are true because they know somebody who's in the police department, or they know somebody who was, involved in the court system or whatever. So they think they know something. They've got some closeness to the case, but they don't actually know whether it's true or not. So I just wanted to ask that, or add that.
And I'm gonna skip over one question and come back to it because this one kind of leads into it from looks like Kenna Clevenger. Are there things that haven't been shared with the public about the case, and if so, will they ever be shared in time maybe?
wait till March. That's about the best I could tell you. Because they got more than we thought they'd get. Dave even saw it. I mean, you can kind of, they got video and stuff that we didn't think they could get from a report, but they did. But it is a documentary coming out in March, so.
We're not allowed to say that.
Oh, I didn't say who, but. But it's
Either way, there is more coming out on Skylar, yes.
And as with anything this complicated, there are
Yeah.
probably things that will come out over the next 10 years, 20 years, that somebody is keeping silent about,
Right. And
Yeah.
as long as, the way I feel about it, I don't mind sharing Skylar's story 1,000,000,000 times, as long as it doesn't happen again.
And Dave, to kind of lead into that, looks like Jackie Morgan said, Dave, do you believe that you were a bigger influence on Skylar, or was your baby girl a bigger influence on you?
Oh God, she knows the answer to that. Thank you, Jackie. Skylar was a bigger influence on me than I ever was on her. That girl taught me. She was 12 years old teaching me lessons that I should have found. She was awesome. That little kid, she had so much brain, so many, oh God, how am I saying this? She was so smart that she made me look stupid a lot of times. The part about, I'm sitting at a red light and wherever and see this ugly guy pass in front of us, and I say, God, Skylar, that guy is atrocious looking. How many beauty contests have you won lately, Father? So yeah, she made me feel like a fool a lot of times. She had more influence on me positively than I had on her. Definitely.
I think that's all I have on this one for now.
I don't even know if I want to answer this one.
I can't see it anyway, so go ahead. Who's
No,
it from?
well, we'll save that later. There'll be a discussion after this one.
Okay.
Well, if we don't have any questions right now, I mean, we can bring up some other stuff.
Yeah, let's bring up Chris. Chris Berry's now doing, I've said before, he's doing ghost hunting. And he's got a paranormal channel called Echoes. And please subscribe to it. It doesn't cost a dime. And it would really help Chris out. And it's pretty cool because he does have some stuff that can't be explained on camera and on mic, and he lets you decide for yourself. I mean, he's not going to push it on you either way, but if you look at something and see a shadow walking across and there's nobody there, obviously he's finding something. And what I like about it the most is he lets the viewer, he said, God, that was real. So it's pretty cool. If you guys would have subscribed to it, it would help me immensely, and it would help my buddy Chris a lot. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Dave.
Nope.
Yeah, just real quick, it's something that I started a couple of years back. I actually got 2 channels. I got Beach Bum Entertainment. The channel that you're watching this on is Echoes Paranormal. So if you want to watch any more ghost hunts, just subscribe down below. You're actually on the channel right now with this live stream. What it is we go out and we check out places, and actually Ronnie Gaskins, who was the lead investigator on the Skylar Neese case, is the other lead investigator with me on this, and we work well together, and we go out and we're trying to debunk, but if we can't debunk it, we record it. Be recorded, but we catch it. We put it all together on a video, and we leave it up to you as the viewers to tell us what you think. We don't make the final decision. We don't say it's haunted, it's not haunted. Even if we got a shadow that goes across, it wasn't us, we're not going to say it's a ghost. That's up to you.
Yeah, they don't lie about it either. I mean, what you see on the camera is what they got.
Yeah, it's something that we can't explain. We can't debunk. We can't say we faked it. I mean, it's just something, we're being real and legit with it. We're going to give you the evidence that we can't explain. And that's what we love about it. And we're not making the final decision. That's why we want to bring the viewers and the people watching involved. You guys make the ultimate decision. You make the final decision. We don't. But I got Ronnie Gaskins, Nick DiMedici, Steve White here up on the northern part of the team, my southern part team down in the Carolinas and down to Florida. We got Chris, we got Dave Toller, which actually Dave Toller is the one who got me started on this whole YouTube
cool.
venture. He's big into ghost hunting, and he just moved back to Myrtle Beach, so we're getting back together to start up the southern team, and
Fantastic.
the northern team will come down and help us out, or vice versa, we'll go up. But my mother Candy Barry's also involved. She loves ghosts. There's a demon down the hall, she's running down the hall chasing it. She's got a friend of hers down there, Dave Smith, that looks like he's joined the team with us. But it's something we're getting started, and we're rock and rolling with it, and it's become real good. And I'm telling you right now, I've been kind of on a hiatus with it for the past couple months. I've actually got 8 shows left to edit. They're already finished. I got to edit them. I've just been completely tied up with work, my previous job that I'm currently leaving. But now I'm going to have more time to work on them.
Hey, Chris.
But we got much more ghost hunts down the road that we're going to be scheduling and coming up. But you're going to be very excited to see what we do have coming out. It's going to be fun and interesting. So yeah, if you like this and you like the venture, subscribe down below and check it out and put your comments in. That's what we want. We want to hear, we want to hear what you think.
And someone asked if you've been to Gettysburg.
I have been to Gettysburg. We actually went to a place called Langdon Hill House. It was renamed as Langdon Hill House. I apologize, I don't have the stuff on me right now, what the house was originally, but it's down on Main Street. We actually had, beautiful, beautiful home. But there was actually snipers from the Confederate Armory in this house that was there during the time of the Gettysburg War, killing Union soldiers.
Wow.
We actually caught several things there. We caught a female downstairs by the name of Minnie, which you're going to be really excited to see what we caught on camera there, and the voices we caught on EVPs. And then upstairs we actually caught children's voices and laughter, and there was no children in the house.
Wow.
There's some other things we caught, and just things we can't describe. I mean, but there's some things that you're going to be like, holy shit, what is that? And we can't describe it, and because I remember I told, Steph's listened to the
I've definitely thrown the headphones off a couple times and been like, nope, I'm done. That's enough for me. Thank you.
When it comes out, I'm not afraid no ghost, Steph is.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like I said, Ronnie would send me the EVPs to listen to. I'd listen to them, and you'd literally hear children's voices at the Gettysburg hunt, and they're right there behind us, it sounded like. And there was no children in that house. It was a big, big house. So it's very interesting. There's other cases that we caught stuff that you're going to be blown away. We were blown away. It's still blown away this day, and I still can't describe. So it's a lot of fun. We're having a ball. We're having fun doing it, and it looks like it's really starting to pick up for us good. Getting a little attention out there. Hopefully we'll start blowing up more attention and getting out there more and getting some good hunts for you guys.
Go get them, bro.
We got a couple more questions too, if you want to.
Go ahead for it.
Perfect. Back to Dave. What advice can you give parents of young teens to help them teach their children to be cautious without scaring them?
It's going to depend on your kid a lot of times, but what I would say is don't take no for an answer. You raise that child, you know that child, okay? If they're in the teen years, you raise them, you know them, don't take no for an answer. So many times Skylar would say, just shut up and leave me alone. Teens, okay, well, we did. We didn't push her, because I thought that was the worst thing to do. It's not. Get to the core of the problem. Your child is acting differently for a reason, be it drugs, be it whatever. Make sure you are in touch with your child. That's what I have to say.
And then Dave, are you still doing talks at prisons, schools,
Yeah.
etc.?
Yeah, I just did one not too long ago. Becky Palmer's probably watching. She's the one that I did the first prison talk. She told me right after I was done, oh my God, Dave, I think I'm going to get fired. I was still very, very, very angry. It was raw, it was still new. And the talk I gave at Becky's prison scared the inmates half to death. It scared Becky half to death. She thought she was going to get fired, but yeah, I still do them. And I haven't done one in about 2 months, 3 months, something like that. But last one I did, I think, was Penn State, and it went really well. And I'll talk anywhere. I mean, I don't ask anybody to do it. I do it because I never want this to happen again. And I've talked to Ronnie and I both talked to WU Forensic Sciences students, and what a great talk that was. Ronnie blew it away that night. He really had a lot of information, and he knew what he was saying. With me, I just get up there and I speak from the heart, and a lot of times my heart gets missed different ways, but I always have the story, the whole story, and yeah.
And then, how do you feel when YouTubers or true crime channels cover your daughter's story? Is this attention helpful for awareness, or do you worry about how the story is being portrayed?
Well, me and Chris talked about this a lot of times. A lot of times it's wrong. I wish you would get a hold of me so I could tell you the true story, instead of just putting down what you think or what would be a better read or anything. Like, I've read so many things that didn't happen. And just the other day I saw one that said, when I went to wake Skylar up in the morning, I did not try to wake Skylar up in the morning. I had to go to work. I didn't try to wake Skylar up or even knock on her door till 12:30 or later when I got home from work to give her the car. And people are just putting down what they think or what they want to put down, and God, that makes me mad.
Well, who was it, that one dumbass out there in California that had a YouTube channel that, it was that first one, right before, around Dr. Phil, when he had the Dr. Phil interview.
Yeah.
And remember, he had it so wrong, all completely. Remember, he had Morgantown Police, like the chief involved.
He was in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and that was the Las Vegas. It was like
Maria Bartiromo's cousin.
oh God, it was horrible.
I don't remember his name.
And I mean, you just laugh at that stuff, and
Just had misinformation, and he was trying to make a case out of it, and he didn't have the right info.
And and this is one of the biggest reasons why Dave wanted to do this right here, right now. I mean, this is the true. I mean, this is your chance. Here's your questions. I mean, there's some questions we can't answer, especially for me on my side, because there's still stuff that we had cases opened up during the case I can't talk about, and some things in the case I can't talk about. But I can give you the best I can. But it's a lot better than some of that other shit you're listening to out there. But
10 times better.
I mean, how much investigating when you did, doing the book? I mean, how much stuff did you run across on the internet that?
Oh yeah, just one of the things. I mean, I spent a lot of time. That was actually had a co-author, and that was one of my duties was going through and looking into all kinds of rumors and different. There was stuff about on Google Maps. You could see a body being dragged into the. I had to track down all this stuff and find out what the story was. And I did find a couple eerie things, but they were that sounded like they were plausible. And I won't go into them, but they turned out to be. One of them turned out to be posted by an 11-year-old in Montana.
Right.
It was just a coincidental thing that sounded like it could be real, but there was a lot of that kind of thing.
And a lot of it's just, that's why parents should really watch who or how old their children are before they're allowed on the internet to surf randomly. Because number one, predators, they're everywhere. And number two, you never know what kind of information they're going to give out. And you get somebody knocking on your door all at once and says, hey, your kid told me that you're going to sell your house for $2. Make sure your child is old enough and mature enough to be on the internet and not cause problems.
One of the things I was very convinced about was that social media had a role in this. But at the time, it was 2013, 14, there wasn't much information about, not much research had been done about the effects of social media or the various things that are now known in full, and it's much more likely that, the social media played a big role in this whole thing. But we couldn't substantiate that, so of course we didn't say it in the book, but we were sure that was the case, and it does turn out to be the case. And there's very good. I can't remember the name of the guy who wrote it, but there's a good book about the effects of social media and all kinds of bad things have happened in the teens and 20s, involving like the suicide rate of boys, the depression rate of girls, all this kind of stuff that seems to be related to that. And so it's a very big problem.
And you brought up a good point there. It's like the first live stream we did on Facebook. What was the first thing I came out and said? But that coexists with what I'm going to say is that social media did not solve this case. I mean, it did not solve this case. I don't know why 90% of the documentaries portray it solved this case. It drives me nuts and just blows my mind. Even when I was being interviewed for half of them, they kept going on the social media aspect too. And I'm looking at them going, why do you keep asking me this question? It has nothing to do with what we're doing. But then they would juice it up and make it look good for their show. I get it. But right there's the BS we got to deal with. And you're twisting things around to dramatize it for yourself to get more views. In reality, here's the real deal. I mean, this, once again, social media didn't solve this case, but social media had a big effect on this case because of outside shit like that coming in, where you had somebody like that idiot from Las Vegas, Maria Bartoma's cousin, that was making all those false statements, had him completely ass backwards and wrong. But you had people here who just dove into it and started believing it, and it made it harder for us. And the only bad thing was you're making it harder for law enforcement, because you're beating up stuff that was completely out in left field that had nothing to do on the main focus we were looking at. And that's on every case now. It is. I mean, like I said, you look the wrong way, and it's just that one perfect shot where it makes you look bad, and all of a sudden somebody puts it on Facebook, and then you're all these names and all this radical shit, and your life's ruined. In reality, you were just looking over to see what the hell was going on. Yeah, it's just something that small and stupid can change your whole life and somebody's world, because of one person making a post and then people just taking off with it in social media.
Yeah, and that again, that ties back to the thing about not knowing how many people lie and all that kind of. Apparently, social media gives even people who don't normally lie as much in their everyday life, it gives them the license to go ahead and lie on computer. So they make stuff up and they misrepresent themselves and all that, and then of course they jump into anything that's hitting the headlines.
Yeah.
And throw in their 2 cents, which is mostly destructive.
Yeah.
Heather Blake said, do you think Rachel would have still committed murder had she not met Sheila?
Do I think, or
Do I?
Okay.
Rachel?
Yeah.
no? Rachel wouldn't have done it alone. No.
I
don't
have a different opinion of that.
well,
Do
I
you
mean,
really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think.
They're both evil, so.
Yeah, I mean, she did it. Well, I mean, listen, it's out. But that's a tough one because, I mean, I'd like to hear Geoff's, but
so I want to hear.
But my opinion, I think Sheila was such a good manipulator. In my opinion, and like I said, don't take my opinion once we're getting after we just talked about social media shit. I think it was one of that kind of brainwashing issue where Rachel came from a good family. You gotta remember, Rachel came in the picture way later than, because God, how long did Sheila and Skylar know each other? They were just
Since second or third grade.
second or third grade, and Rachel didn't come in the picture to what?
in high school.
Freshman. So halfway through freshman, if you think about it, because by the time you get as a new freshman, you start learning friends.
Right.
So you're looking at a year and a half, and I still go back to Jessica Colbank with her assumption was a thrill kill. So would I think if she would have ever met Sheila, would she ever commit murder? No, but did she have the ability to commit murder? Yeah, I guess she did. But so that's why I think it's a tough question. I don't think that she would have met Sheila. She would have committed murder. Now, could she have been involved in domestic battery or something like that? Yeah, possibly, if she obviously has that chemical imbalance in her brain, obviously. But So now I'd like to hear yours.
Well, we had a lot of talks with, Ken Lanning, who was one of the original profilers, the FBI profilers at the Quantico thing. And one of the things he pointed out was none of this whatever happened, you could, give an example of like a stew. All the ingredients, unless all the ingredients were there, it wouldn't have turned out this way. So in that sense, would that have happened to Skylar? No. If something else, if Rachel wasn't there, Sheila wouldn't have done it.
No.
Yeah.
So, or maybe Sheila, we don't know. There's just a lot of factors and stuff
It's
like that.
hypothetical, yeah. Because
One of the things he pointed out was that they don't even know why they did it. And they're not going to know 10 years from now, 20 years from now. They're going to have shifting reasons that change all the time. And they won't ever really know why they did it.
The first reason they gave is they didn't want to be friends with her anymore.
Right. And that's
a stupid reason.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I would say. But also, I think, a lot of people have said, well, Sheila was more responsible than Rachel. If you had to break it down, you go 60-40, or I would go more like 51-49.
Wow.
I just saw a lot more. And it's also hard to read stuff like this. One of the things we asked Ken early on was, are these people sociopaths or psychopaths? And he said, well, you can't really tell with a teenager because you go down the Hare checklist, which is a list of various characteristics. And, and there's, I don't remember how many offhand, how many there are, but they're like 30 or 20, and you have to score 1, 2, 3 on all the different things. But they include things like a parasitic lifestyle, tendency to lie, thrill seeker, all things that applies to just about every teenager.
Yeah.
So you can't really use that kind of instrument with a teenager because they're still developing. And if they're still doing it when they're 25 or when they're 30, then you can start to say, okay, well, maybe we got a psychopath here. But I don't know, I'm getting sidetracked. But there were just...
No, I mean, I see exactly what you mean because, it's so true. I mean, I'm going to make a little joke here, but my 4-year-old, she's the smartest damn kid I've ever seen.
Oh, God.
But, the old saying, you could be smart, but you got to hold her hand and tell her to look both ways before she crosses the street because she'll just run out right in the middle of the road. It's like, but she could tell you all the plans. She can count up to friggin' 40. She could already do subtraction and addition. She's already outbeat all the levels for 4-year-olds and all that. But like I said, you still got to yell at her because she'll just run out in the middle of traffic. And it's like, no, you got to look both ways for the cars. I mean, but I mean, like you said, it's just still learning and still developing that brain and all that stuff. And,
and like Dave said about we don't drink, when he's telling the Tea Party story, we don't drink out of the toilet. And Skylar said, well, the cat does.
Right, yeah.
So, that's... The kids are operating off of whatever they've learned. And if they haven't learned it, they're going to do something really stupid.
Yep.
And usually they do, no, they don't always, but sometimes they do. So parent, know your child, know who they are, please.
Yeah, I mean, like I said about the last live broadcast was like, you could... Well, I said, don't be their friends. You could be a friend, as a parent, but don't be the friend. Like, just be a parent still. Don't be afraid to be up their ass. Don't be afraid to tell them no.
Exactly.
My father had no problem doing that. Hell, my dad still does that with Lou. Lou, he'll look at Lou and goes, no. And Lou will get mad and goes, hey, I told you no. Well, get used to it. I mean, if I tell you no, it's no.
There's no negotiation.
Yeah, no negotiation. Right. Like, oh, here you go, do this, do that. I mean, it's one of those things, and not trying to be critical or tell you how to parent, but that's a good way to show kids. It's like, hey, now you got to learn responsibility and what's right and what's wrong.
I think your dad said best. She's not going to hate you. That's what he.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Stop strike. He's like, she's not going to hate you.
Right.
Be a parent.
Because kids, like you said, are still developing. They're not, not fully developed in thinking that way. And they hate for 1 second and then they love again, And especially your little girl. God, she's gorgeous. She is a beautiful little girl. Good job, bro.
Hey,
Good job.
The name was Jonathan Haidt, H-A-I-D-T, The Anxious Generation.
Oh, cool.
That's just, I looked it up.
Okay, I'd really like a question, please.
Yes. What was your favorite docuseries to do?
Favorite documentary to do?
I can't remember which ones I'm on anymore.
Does that mean like Dateline 2021?
Well, I think, yeah, or the podcast. I mean,
I think I'm going to go first. I think as of right now, See No Evil which was our first one, was our best one, because I think See No Evil was the most closest to the point of the investigation.
Was that the Dateline one?
No,
What
it
was that?
called See No Evil on Investigation Discovery.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, ID.
But
I got it.
I think
mixed up.
See No Evil, I think it was season 2, episode 2 or something like that, or season 1, episode 2. Those first 2 seasons, you'll find it. But I think that's the most truest, clearest to the point of the case, closest to the case that I've seen out of all the documentaries.
Mine was the one I just did, and I ain't allowed to say it, so.
That's why I said I can't say anything about it, because I said as of today, that's what.
As of right now, the favorite one I did was, I don't know. It was Dateline, or, I'm not going to downplay any of them. They've all done a fantastic job. And my favorite people's Dorothy Street Productions, that was my favorite. And they did an awesome job. Awesome job. So.
The 2020, at the time they were in town, when they were in town, they were looking for a small car that was the kind of car that Sheila drove. And they described it to me on the phone, and I realized, looking down from where I live, that my dad's car is that car. And so,
Get the hell out of here.
yeah, so I'm not speaking to the story itself, but I got to. I'm in that. If you ever seen that, the 2021, where the cars driving out, and Sheila, I'm driving that car. We had to mount up cameras and all that, and that was kind of interesting to see how that's all done. But again, that's not speaking to the story or anything, but.
Yeah, this is part of the story.
No, I mean, like I said, it's funny because we've all done them, but the documentaries, you sit there and you get grilled for 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
You'd only be on there for 10 minutes total. So it's
They're all kind of a blur to me. I don't
Yeah.
really remember any specific.
We've done so many, I can't even keep them track. They run them, they get crisscrossed and everything. Now you got to remember, it's been what?
12 years,
12 years, yeah. And it's been a long 12 years, but it flew by like that. And
But that's
my goal is to keep those 2 animals where they belong.
and that's what sucks is like Dave and I really had this talk, but we have no problem doing what we're doing now. Got the equipment, got the YouTube channel to do it, obviously, so it's easier and it's more fun, relaxed. But one of the things is that they get tiring. I mean, the scheduling and constant
We're not
emails.
getting paid for this.
Yeah.
We don't make any money for this. We're doing this. So my point for doing this is so it never happens again.
Yeah.
Geoff and Chris are nice enough to join me. There's no money in this. It's not about that. It's about making sure this never happens again.
Yeah, and to the point. I mean, what I would say, docuseries. Now the other one I did have fun with. I will mention this, but it wasn't really a doc. It was a podcast. Was 3.
Yeah,
That was amazing.
It got me on my edge of my seat too. I really like that one. Like each episode, it's definitely a good one to listen to.
Jason did.
Jason,
Holly,
did
and the
great
rest
job.
of
Holly
them.
did a great job, man. They all did great. It was fine. Holly kind of got me. She took me out for some drinks and I was like, ooh, that was bad. She got me opened up a little bit on that one. But
Oh, your boyish charm, was that what it was?
yeah.
You look like a university
Yeah.
student.
But
That was so cool.
But the funny thing was,
Shit, now I forget where I was going with this. But anyways, yeah, the podcast was good. But with all of that, with the documentaries though, it gets tiring. And Dave calls me all the time, and we all get tired, and that's why like this last one we can't talk about it. But it's like this was our last. Well, I started out first. I said this is my last one, and Ronnie and I talked, and Ronnie goes, this is my last one too for interview. And Dave, it just kind of went down the line. It's like, hey, this is our last hurrah. This is our last one. This stuff we don't mind doing, but like it was just more of. We're done with.
This is fun to me. Yeah. This is a blast, man.
And this is for the people. It's kind of like my ghost hunting channel. This is your chance. This is your way to, you ask us the questions. Here's your chance. I mean, everybody, they all want this. They all want this, and then we got these people that come in, and I'm not trying to blame you. It's like answer your questions. Answer away. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. I mean, if you don't want me to call your name out, mention the bottom. Steph and I won't call your name out. It's like, hey, please don't yell my name, but. Unfortunately, your name's going to be on there when you ask the question. But yeah, if you want a shout out, we'll give you a shout out. But this is what I think we like doing the most. So
I enjoy it. I really do. It helps me too. It really does.
All right. In the inaugural days of the investigation, was the rumor mill helpful or hindrance to the investigation? Also, what about the information shared on Newsball? Was it mostly accurate or otherwise? And that's from Jackie Morgan.
Newsball, what a shit show that was. Newsball, take Newsball and throw that out the window.
Yeah, it was wrong.
It was all wrong. Yeah. Newsball kind of hurt us a lot more than anything else. Now, going back to, what was it you said, the rumor mill.
Rumor mill helpful or hindrance to the investigation?
Well, what's funny? The rumor mill, though, the rumor mill did kind of help us out, and that's why from the first live broadcast, because nobody really got to see it, half the people didn't get to see it. When we actually, one of the rumors was she was dumped in a mine shaft. That was big.
Yeah.
So, and all of the mine shafts were out in Blacksville, and we went to Consol Energy and met with a project manager or a site manager, and he took us out to 6-7 mine shafts out that area in like a 5-mile radius. And the first mine shaft we went to, we literally parked right beside Skylar.
Yeah.
We were 3 feet to 6 feet away, parked away from Skylar. I mean, we literally opened the doors, shut the doors. She's right there in front of us, walked right by her. But this was in October. It was cold. Decomp has already set in. There was no smells. The leaves were down. She was covered up. But what was spooky about that site was when we went on the site, we went to the actual mine shaft that was covered. We actually found a medium-sized girl's yellow tie-dye T-shirt. And what Skylar was wearing was a medium girl-size yellow tie-dye T-shirt. I actually have a picture of Ronnie holding that shirt up. Now, I think Ronnie still has it. I might still have it, but I think Ronnie, I'm sure, still has it. But we have that picture. It's proof. But that's two strange things that happened that was kind of spooky. But yeah, so the rumor mill, not saying it worked, but hey, at the mine shafts, look what happened. We were right there.
Parts of it were true. Yeah.
Well, I just wasn't saying she was buried, but it was more, what was it? It's just a coincidence. We literally parked right beside.
Right.
Next question is from Julie Lashin. Do you still talk to Skylar's friends?
No. I mean, I will. I mean, I don't have anything against any of them, but it's just, like her good friend Morgan, she's married and moved away, and I, once in a while if I see something on Facebook, I'll like it or send, congratulations or whatever. Skylar has some cool friends other than the two pieces of shit, but I'm sorry. But I don't keep in touch with any of them.
Yeah, and the 10, 12, 15 years from 16 to 28 are a lot a lot more happens than the 10, 12 years of people who are 50 or 60 or whatever.
Yeah, right now, if there's any teens watching, 16 years old, if something happens at school, it's the end of the world. It's never going to be fit. It's never going to be fixed. Oh my God, my life is ruined. How many times you heard that?
Well, I can tell you right now, don't know if they're still watching, but Nick Sale, but Tom Kelleher and I work together at the high school level. See it every day. It's every single day, and it drives us both nuts. It drives poor Tom nuts. And yeah, we'll sit there, and I'll try to come in and help him in the office, and we try to put our brains together and see what we can figure out. But it's the constant line, the Snapchat, stupid kick, whatever it is.
Bullying.
Oh, it's horrible. It's just nonstop.
I think kids nowadays are meaner than they were when I grew up. Is that accurate?
I don't.
Now, you're the same age as me, so you grew up.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't know that people are any meaner now than they were. There's a whole lot more meanness out there, though, because I think the social media is a big problem. And one of the people we interviewed, she was, I don't remember her name, but she was a student, with Skylar, and she had said that even this early in the social media phenomenon, she said people on social media, everything gets blown up to real big, and I make a point of, if I have anything important to say to a person, to go and do it in person. So, if I'm breaking up with my boyfriend, or I'm, doing something important, I do it without doing it on the computer. And I think that does bring out more meanness. We also had a principal at Morgantown High say that the things have changed dramatically, and you might be able to speak to this, Chris, in that it used to be that two guys are having beef or some on a Friday, and they're looking like it's going to be a fight and stuff like that, and then that gets broken up or nothing happens over the weekend. On Monday, it's all forgotten.
Yeah.
But on Monday, it's been blown up into a really big deal, and it might be two groups of people coming together for a fight.
There's going to be guns and hand grenades and everything.
Well,
else,
actually, it's funny. Is what now it is like you said back in the day. When you had a problem, you didn't do it at school. I mean, unless you just crossed paths, and it's like, all right, we're going to go. And you actually fought. There wasn't no like screaming at each other. You threw fists. And I'm talking about back in our day. Or you did it after school because you didn't want, because back then you got in a fight, you got suspended, then you had to worry about your dad beating your ass.
Exactly.
For getting suspended. So then today they all jump around and scream at each other, hoping the admin's going to jump in and stop the fight. And it's like, all right, you chicken shit. So now you made a scene, and of course you got 50 to 100 kids holding their phones up. And it's all getting blown around, and it's like you guys record a couple kids who are scared to death to fight each other, but they just want to make a scene and look bad in front of their friends. In reality, they're scared to death. They're hoping that admin's going to jump in because they won't throw a punch, but they'll keep screaming at each other.
Yeah. So that's
go after school and do this and see how that works out, but they won't. So.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant by, I don't know if people are actually meaner, Dave, but there's a lot more meanness out there because of.
Well, that's what it is. It's all your keyboard warriors coming out now.
Yeah.
And then when it gets time to get called out, they don't know what to do.
Suddenly disappear.
Yeah.
A lot of we had a lot of coward keyboarders posting stuff but those people are mentally unstable. Okay, and there's a difference between being mean and mentally unstable. Mentally unstable, you probably can't help what you're doing. Meanness, you can. I think, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, we got quite a few questions coming in.
All right, there we go. Can I do one real quick? I'm sorry. I've been holding this one off for a while. Kathy Wooten, she came in.
Love her.
Through Facebook. We'll answer this and we'll go straight because this is the only question came in. Have you ever gotten any apology from the family members that started hateful lies during the investigation phase?
The only Kathy, I love her to death. God, she's awesome. We've been to her house before. She lives down near Charleston. No, I have not been to her house. No, God, what am I saying? I have been to Kathy Wooten's house. I'll be okay. No, the only apology we got was the written piece of paper that Rachel's lawyer wrote or somebody wrote. And did Rachel read that or... we got an apology from the SOS, but they said there's really not anything you can say. Your child does something like that, and people said to me, what would you do if Skylar did something like that? you know what? I didn't have to worry about that. Skylar wouldn't do something like that. But the Soaps did send a letter of apology to us. I think we threw it away because it didn't mean anything to us. They are sorry that their daughter embarrassed them, and they have every right to send an apology letter, but after letting them get away with this for that long, and I know the mothers knew about it, I can't prove that, but I think my personal opinion is the mothers knew about it, and let them get away with being liars for that long. There is no apology for that. You can't accept that.
All right, we're good to go now.
In the inaugural days of the investigation, oh, sorry, we already did that one. My bad, guys. How do you feel about the disparity in the two perpetrators' charges and sentences? So the difference between the sentence that Sheila got versus Rachel.
Is that me?
You go for it.
Dave, I think.
Yeah.
Oh. They both should have got life, okay? But Rachel's a narc, and she was a squealer, so, rats get deals. And she was a rat, and she got a deal. And if you guys think that I'm feeling hate toward those two girls still to this day, bingo! I hate them both, and I always will. And I can't forgive them. I've tried. It's not there yet. And I'm not saying it'll never be, but yet. And they are evil people. And there's no institution in the world you can put them in to fix that. That evil is unfixable. You're either evil or you're not. There's no little evil. There's either evil or you're not. And if you're evil, you can't do anything for it. Charles Manson, he was evil. Look what happened to him. All these people that are evil don't have good lives for a reason. They're evil. Stay the hell away from them.
And Dave, what bothers you the most on a day-to-day basis about the murder of Skylar? Everyone deals with trauma differently.
You guys are gonna make me cry now. I love you. I miss that so much. Skylar used to say that every day. I love you, Daddy. God, I miss that. I would give $1 million to hear that again. I love you too, baby.
This next one is from Julie Lashin.
Time out.
Yeah, I got you. Let me get you. Well, we can go back on Geoff here real quick. Your book.
Oh, the co-ed book? Mm-hmm. We after this situation, we took a few years, but we looked into a case that happened when I was a kid here in Morgantown. 2 WVU freshman students it was in 1970 that the crime happened, disappeared halfway through their first year. They disappeared, and 88 days later, their headless bodies were found in the woods south of Morgantown, about 10 miles south of Morgantown. And so it was a horrible case, and it was, of course, in the headlines and everything when I was a kid, and it's been talked about by a lot of people all in the area here ever since. And there was a man who was convicted of that crime, but for a lot of reasons, it looks like he didn't actually do the crime, and so it's just given rise to a whole.
Yeah, and if anybody hasn't read the book, you got to get the book, and it's once again the co-ed murders.
WVU co-ed murders. Who killed Meredith McCarran?
And I'm actually in it. Geoff brought me back in the case, and myself and Nick Domenici, my best friend since we were elementary kids, second grade. We're still best friends this day. But he was Montgomery County Sheriff's Department detective for over 12, 13 years, and he became a state trooper for about 3 or 4 years.
left, opened up. He actually owns Donna Carlo. Got to go check out their pizza. Awesome pizza. Pasta, anything you want, fresh cuts. Everything's imported from Italy. It's all fresh. It's great. You got to go try it out. But he's now investigator also with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department.
Right.
But Geoff brought us in, and we kind of not reopened the cold case, but we kind of started digging on the side of it and looking into it. But what was it, Geoff Crutchley or?
Oh no, John Crutchley.
John Crutchley.
Yeah.
John Crutchley. Now, if you ever look up John Crutchley on Wikipedia, he's
quite the quite.
I'll let you explain that one.
He was born in Clarksburg in 1946, I believe. Down the road here, about 40 miles from Morgantown. 35, 40 miles from Morgantown. His sister was a freshman at WVU the year that Merritt and Karen disappeared, and he was having an affair with his sister at that time, and he was
make West Virginia look good.
later convicted in Florida of he had taken a woman prisoner and was draining her blood and raping her, and I won't go into any more graphic details, but he never got convicted of serial killing, but he got between 6 and 30 murders connected to him. There was a lot of strong connections to him over the years when he was being investigated down in Florida because of this case. And he's called the Vampire Rapist on, you can look him up, Google him, it'll probably be there. But I had heard about him in I was reading a book by Ressler, who was one of the early profilers, and I realized reading this that he might be the guy that killed Merritt and Karen. So the more I found out about him, the more he looked like the guy. And I still have him at the top of our list, but we also investigated a bunch of different people, and we had several other suspects who were also good. And we had, in particular, there was a family in Morgantown that after we did a podcast with the co-ed murders based on our book, the people from that family came forward and started talking, and they apparently there was a fairly strong family story about a couple of the brothers having killed Merritt and Karen, and it was pretty vivid. I'm not entirely convinced by it, but there was, there's a lot of reason to suspect them. So, and then there were a few others, and so we had top 3 or 4 suspects. Crutchley, for me, being at the top.
But you know what's funny about the Crutchley, when I got involved, and I really started digging into Crutchley and looking at his time pattern, where he lived, where he was at, and all that stuff. And there was a couple cases where, was it Kessler, you said, where they found bodies in areas where he worked at with the heads missing. And the funny thing was, with the heads missing, he I got you, buddy, was with the co-ed murders.
Right. And
And then we also found one in Indiana, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
Indiana, the same in Indiana. And it was the same type of situation case that a lady was taken out in the middle of the woods, was a nurse, and her head was gone, but it was like she was dropped off the same type of pattern that he was looked into as these other bodies, and as the co-ed murders. And when I talked to the cold case investigators out there, they actually reopened the case, which I thought was pretty neat.
yeah.
And because he was actually, Crutchley was there at that time, between that time frame, that woman went missing and what happened to her. And I thought that was pretty neat. So it was a fun case. I'm glad Geoff brought me back into it, and
Yeah,
had a lot of fun.
there was, when they were investigating him down in Florida, they found on the land of the place where he worked, the company he worked for, had some land, and on that land, about a mile from the headquarters place, they found a grave with 2 headless women in it.
Oh my God.
And that was when I thought, oh, this.
Yeah, it's too close to home here. And then wasn't it like something like his father worked for Consol, and Consol owned the property that the girls were found on during that time?
Yeah, but we found out that there were a lot of changes. There were 2 different Consols.
Okay.
Consolidated gas and consolidated coal. And those were, I believe, two actually separated companies. And we thought early on that his dad worked for the right console, but it turned out to be the wrong console. Their bodies were found on land owned by Consol. So the thing we thought we talked about back then was
That's right.
that Dad was a executive for them, but later we found out more it was the wrong Consol.
Perfect. And just remember, folks, that this is still a case that's still unsolved. We're not saying that Crutchley is the killer. Yes, he has committed crimes that he was charged with, but yeah, he's just looked as a suspect in this. So, but definitely, like we talked before about social media and how it blows up and goes there, but definitely check out the book. Go get it, read it, and go dig in yourself and see what you think.
And Crutchley's been dead since 2002.
Yeah, so it's very tough to solve a crime when the guy's dead.
Right.
But it's very neat and interesting what we found out and what we dived into. And like I said, to me, I thought it was pretty neat. I got to open up a cold case back in Indiana because I was able to look at that and put everything together. It's like, hey, he was there, and I told the investigator, the detective, I was like, well, I'm working on this right now. It's the cold case we reopened back up that we're looking into. And I gave all the information, and before I know it, Geoff called me. He goes, "Hey, they're reopening the case." And I said, "Man, that's pretty neat." I mean, to me, that's a win. I like that as a cop.
And the other coincidence there was that the sister who was going to WVU when Merritt and Caribou had moved out to an area right near that same place in Indiana at the same time.
Well, see, I didn't even know that. Right there, it just tells me it's kind of looking pretty good.
Okay. Thank you, Steph.
Next one. What was it like to be on the Dr. Phil show?
It's the scariest I've ever been in my life. I thought when he announced this, I was walking across the stage, I was going to trip and fall, and I thought, I'm going to get my words mixed up. It actually was pretty cool. I got to meet Dr. Phil, that he's just like us. He puts on his pants one leg at a time. He's
a pompous ass.
Yeah, he during the commercials and stuff, like I thought he would chit chat and stuff like that, but he's all business. He doesn't chit chat. And at the end of the show, when he gets his wife and walks away, that's really what he does. He does not stand around and talk and say thank you for coming and all that. I'm sure he said thank you, but the interaction we have with Dr. Phil is what you saw on camera was it. We didn't go backstage and talk or anything like that. It was he's all business.
I'll never forget that day because I was working midnights and I was actually going on my days off. So it was nice. I got up early and went to a local bar, not Jeans, but another bar, and I was sitting there. But everybody at the bar knew me, and there's 20 people there, and they all started watching. So we were watching at the bar and having a few beers, and I wasn't on it. Ronnie wasn't, we weren't allowed on it to be interviewed. Dr. Phil tried to interview us, but we weren't allowed to. But I'll be damned. The only name that was mentioned was mine, and they said Trooper Barry, and I'll never forget that bar erupted, and I just put my head down. It's like, son of a bitch. I said, of all the things, I didn't want to be on Dr. Phil.
Dave, were you surprised to learn that some of the guards at Lakin think Sheila's the most evil inmate they've ever crossed? That's from Heather Blake.
Yeah, that kind of blew me, because they've had a lot of inmates up there, and a lot of women's been charged with doing horrible things. But yeah, it was amazing, man. I was really shocked to find out that they see through her little masquerade. She is evil when they see it.
Also from Heather, would Skylar have been found without the confession?
I don't think so. I personally don't think so. I think that Sheila would have held that in forever, little witch. And if she was found, it would have been through good police work. But they had done lie detector tests. They had done just about everything they could. And poor Perry and Marcia, they did everything they could. You know, they was wanting to prosecute a case that they really couldn't prosecute because they didn't have any answers, you know. And finally, when they got the answers, they did an awesome job of it. Thank you, Perry. Thank you, Marcia. I love you both. But without that confession, I don't think we would have. That's how evil Sheila is.
And then Courtney Mata had asked if they ever wanted to make a big screen adaptation about Skylar's case, would you approve?
Yeah,
It's already happened, actually.
it's already happened, yeah.
And yeah, they didn't contact you or anything.
That was Death Click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My character was a Chinese guy,
Yeah.
an old Chinese guy, and Ronnie was a female.
Yeah, and, the guy that played me was one of the old Batmans, so I got the best end of that one.
Last question that we have on here for now. Also wondering why the cops or Agent Spurlock didn't rewind the tape to verify the girl's story immediately, as that one blows my mind. No offense to Leo.
I mean, everybody has those questions. I mean,
Rewind the tape. What are they talking
I
about?
I know exactly what she's talking about. It's because you got to remember at the end, you look at the beginning as a runaway, and you're going to take it as a runaway child, yeah. And we look at the car coming up and pulling up and going just picking Skylar up and going out the window. And this was from the first live chat when I described the story, is when, how can I say this, is as we went on the case, the girls' stories became more full of shit and we were catching holes in them big time. And I finally had enough. I called Jessica Cole back. I said, how much video surveillance do you have of this, of that night? And she goes, I got 4 hours. I said, where's the, I mean, like, what point of period of the time do you have Skylar in that whole 4 hours of her getting out of the, or climbing out of the window and going in the car? She goes at the 3rd hour mark. I said, okay. And I'll never forget it. I was going my nights off. I said, stay there at the office. I'm coming. I said, you go home, give me the keys, but I'm staying there. I'm going to watch the full 4 hours. And she goes, I'll stay with you. So we got there, and like I said, I grabbed like 12 pack of beer. We sat there and we watched 4 hours nonstop, just staring. And she had a projector, and she was able to put up on the wall just this big, huge screen. And we watched the full 4 hours. And I'll never forget, we watched all the way up to when Skylar gets out the window, get in the car and leave. I didn't say anything. We waited till the last hour, nothing. And went till it was done. And I looked at Jessica and I said, what'd you see? She said, I saw Skylar get out of the window and get in the car. I said, what else did you see? Nothing. I said, exactly. I said, if the girl stated that they picked her up at around 11 o'clock, 11:30, drove for 30 minutes, brought her back, you would see, one, Skylar getting out of the window the first time at 11:30, going to, now they said they picked her up down at the end of the road, so we would never saw their cars, where they're stating that they picked Skylar up. You never saw a camera. But we never saw Skylar get out of the window, walk away, half hour, 45 minutes, walk back, climb through the window, then, what was it, 20 minutes later, get back out the window and get in the car.
Yeah.
And that's when the light bulb clicked for all of us. Where is Skylar getting out of the house? Now, this was a really good wide angle shot of this camera of, if you're looking at where Dave's apartment was, you had a drop off on one side. There ain't no way she was going that way. The other side was the road that caught majority of the road and majority of the next street. You would have saw Skylar somewhere on that camera up in the far corner. So that's what was my thing was. That's when I finally looked at Jessica and I said, they're lying. But it was just at the point. Yeah, I mean, you're going to make mistakes like that before you go back and look. But we did go back and look. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It's one of those things where you look at it first, where how many times I got to say this is that we looked at the girls as victims, as witnesses. We never dreamt of them being killers and stabbing their best friend to death. We didn't know she was dead yet. We didn't know, I mean, it was pretty much easy to confirm that she was possibly deceased at the time. There was always that 1 ounce of hope.
Right.
But
I still hold it out.
yeah, but it was one of those things where once we start digging in more and more and more, and that's when I went to Dave's house that night with the
Piece of paper.
the pings of the phones. And I said, he said, what's this? I said, this is Blacksville's tower with a 5-mile radius. I said, in that 5-mile radius, Sheila's phone at 1 o'clock in the morning. And he goes, what does that mean? She was nothing but a goddamn liar, because she said she was never out in Blacksville.
Pretty much proof she was, and then they lawyered up, so it's even 10 times harder to get info.
But once again, I mean, to go back and watch the whole video, once again, you're going based off of girl statements, 16-year-old girl statements, what they did. Yeah, it's easy. Just look at that video and move on.
Well, it helped come unraveled, you know, because you said, okay, you said you weren't in Blacksville. Why is this, you know, oh, that's right, we did go to Blacksville. I forgot. They had reversed that story so well that they were both telling the identical same story. Didn't you say that? Mm-hmm. And if me and Geoff do something together and we recount it to someone else, it's going to be a little bit different from each of us. I mean, not necessarily stretch the truth or anything, but, you know, it's going to be a little bit different. Their stories were identical. You could have... How close were they? I mean...
Yeah.
You know,
But I mean, like I said, it's frustrating that, yeah, it's easy to overlook that, but we did look at it, and that's when the case turned. Could it have helped earlier? Yeah, absolutely, but fuck, we're human. I mean,
So
it's easy. I mean, like I said, you look at evidence and you're going off girl statements, and you're 16-year-old girl. You don't understand the amount of runaway juveniles we get a night with
Right.
state police. We're talking three easily to 5 a week. I mean, that's almost, you get 5 a week. I mean, that's almost damn near every night, every other night. I mean, it's nonstop. So it's easy just to look at you're lucky to have video surveillance, let alone just statements. So that's why we didn't look at it. But, you know, once I finally had enough, I said, I want to watch the full 4 hours and see this. And that's when I saw, and not forget Jessica, but when I looked at Jessica, I said, what'd you see? And it didn't click yet. And then I said, why didn't we see Skylar leave the first time? That's when shit started hitting the fan for us and started going downhill for the girls. So
Tom said, happens in police work all the time. Chris and I both know sometimes you got to rewatch a video quite a few times to piece together a story. A video isn't always black and white.
who said that?
that's
Tom.
Gallagher.
Cool.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. He is so right. I mean, he is so true. I mean, like I said, him and I brainstorm in his office at the school. I mean, you know, there's times where we just tried to dissect every piece of information as we can. And it sucks, and it's so easy to miss something. We're not Superman. I mean, trust me, we'd love to be Superman, but we're just not. And like I tell a lot of people, when they look at me and go, you know, well, how come you're a cop? How come you be so dumb? Hold on, let me get my crystal ball. Shit, my crystal ball ain't working.
Yeah.
You know, let me rub it. It just ain't working. I mean, yeah, I can only do so much.
And stuff always looks obvious
Yeah.
in retrospect. You know, well,
course it
obviously
does, yeah.
this is what happened. Well,
The case is solved, yeah. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, and it's, you know, like I said, you know, we're human. We're going to miss a few things, but you know, eventually we'll get back to it, or come back, and we'll look back into it and go, oh shit, we missed this. Why did we miss this? Now that starts connecting the other dots that we missed. So
yeah, and I don't work anywhere near the level that Chris does, but in looking at cases, and I've seen how often I go back and I look at old things that happened, and I go, why didn't I notice this before? You know,
yep.
or why didn't I think about this event this way instead of that way?
Same thing all
I mean,
the
there's
time.
always that kind of thing that happens, and it happens over and over again. And if you look at the same thing, say a narrative about how something happened or what happened, and you look at that same narrative several different times, you get different things out of it. You see it differently. So.
I got a few questions here. This kind of came in about an hour ago. I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher this. Joy Chow? C-H-A-U? Question one's a little weird. What can we do to help the victims' families? An example, fight for Son of Sam law.
Fight for what?
Son of Sam.
You can't profit off of a crime.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's a legal question.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't answering that on YouTube, I can tell you that. Sorry, Joy, but there's 3 questions.
Well, I could add in something.
Okay, go for it, yeah.
I mean, there are all kinds of things like I've mentioned a few times, the social media, the effects of social media that Jonathan Haidt and various people have been talking about. You may not be able to help a specific situation, but you can help prevent future situations by spreading information correctly, and like Dave does when he talks at prisons, he wants to make sure that something doesn't happen again. He's not helping any particular situation, but hopefully he's heading off a future situation of one kind or another.
Very good point. Thank you.
Yeah. Question 2, what other things can we do to honor Skylar? Donate to an animal shelter in her name? Question mark.
I really don't know. I mean, we've done just about everything there is to honor Skylar. We had a planet named after her. She's got, a place out in Blacksville where she was murdered. We turned it into a place of love. There's not a whole lot that we can do that we haven't already done, but keep her in your heart. That's the biggest thing. Skylar's memory and the memory of never letting this happen again is the best way you can remember Skylar.
And 3rd question is, how's David and Mary doing?
Pretty good. I mean, Mary and I are at a point now where we're still here. I mean, we still love each other, always will, and we're still doing okay. We don't blame each other for what happened, and for the most part, we're happy. So, I mean, we try our best every day. Every day we wake up, we've got to deal with this. And every day we go to sleep, we got to deal with it. And do I want to? Hell no. But do I have to? Hell yes. So, we're doing as well as you can imagine.
Yeah, but I think just to mention a few things here. With Dave, always, like I said, Dave always calls me, and we always get together. Steph and I do go out to dinner with Dave and Mary every now and then, along with Ronnie Gaskins. We all try to stay together. This is one of the cases like I really stay connected with the victim's family. We became great friends. Obviously, we're here tonight, but like I said, Dave brought a good point. Like, all this stuff we've done is free. It's not like we're gaining anything out of this. This is more to get Skylar's story out, because this is tough. For my daughter now, Ronnie's daughter, everybody's daughters, Tom Kelleher's daughters. It's one of those things where. My best friend, who's my daughter's godfather, Freddie Little, we all try to make sure we get our kids prepped and ready for the future and make sure they do good and meet the right people and make the right decisions. Last thing we want is something happening of where we're at tonight or being in the opposite seat. What the hell happened to my child? Why did my child commit these crimes? That's something you definitely don't want. Perfect example, Nick Sale, Tom Kelleher, and I can sit there and admit at the schools is when these kids get in trouble at the high school, we look at them and go, hey, dude, you fucked up. I don't know what else to tell you. And these parents come in. Now, we got some parents, can be blown away, don't care. They actually get mad at us, mad at the admin and the teachers, and cuss us out, cuss them out, and they think their kid did no wrong, or high-fiving their kid as they're walking out the door and all that stuff. And we're sitting there scratching our heads going, well, now we know why your kid acts like this. It is what it is, but right there goes to show you. Those are the type of kids you just kind of want to stay away from.
even the parents. I mean, that you don't want that, because if you have these families who just think everything's owed to them and all that stuff, it's not good. It's just going to go bad. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to explain in better terms than that. I mean, we all grew up to good, fathers on our ass and not afraid to beat our ass, but.
Carter. Heather Blake, your son Carter wants a shout out. Hey Carter, what's up, brother? I haven't forgot about you meeting Shaquille O'Neal. If that possibility does come up, you definitely will. If Shaquille comes in to do the podcast and you promise, you will definitely meet him. I haven't heard anything more about that, and Jason's the one that had him, so I don't know. So until Jason gets back hold of me, I don't know. But big shout out to Heather and a big shout out to her son. They're both fantastic people. Thank you guys for watching.
One last positive somebody asked was, what is everybody grateful for with this coming week with Thanksgiving coming up?
Oh, cool. I'm thankful for having such cool friends. And all the people on Facebook that are watching right now, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, it really does me a lot of good to get this out. And the friends I have around me right now are the most awesome people I've ever met. And Jackie and Kathy and Barry and all the rest of the people on Team Skylar that make my day-to-day life easier. Thank you.
I'm going to my brother's house in Pittsburgh for Thanksgiving, and we're having extended families all coming in, and nieces and nephews and boyfriends and girlfriends and all like that. So it's going to be nice. We'll be going up there, leaving tomorrow or tomorrow, I think. But so that'll be nice. So I'm glad for that. I haven't seen most of these people since last year.
What are you thankful for, Chris?
Yeah, I'm thankful for a lot of things. I'm thankful for my beautiful wife,
Absolutely,
Stephanie.
I agree with that 100%.
I'm thankful for life we have now, making the decision, moving south. We left Myrtle, even though my mom and dad's blowing me up and telling me how nice the weather is and sunny is and how cold and rainy it is up here. But having the family up here, the friends, seeing Nick DeMecci, his wife Kristen, and his boy and girl last night, getting to see other friends and their kids this week. Thankful for Dave, Geoff, all of us being here tonight. Al Bonner letting us have this place. Thankful for all the group. And a lot of people don't know the owner, Al Bonner, and my dad grew up together. They're best friends. That's why I have the privilege and honor being here. And I can't thank him enough for letting him use us, or letting him have us use this place and this establishment.
Yeah. Huge shout out to Al.
Yeah, thanks, Al.
And
great.
He's done wonders with this bar. It looks great. It's amazing.
Yeah, it sure does.
And Al's got a book on the history of
He does.
jeans.
He
It's
does.
full of stories. And it's not written by Al. It's as told by Al and various people. And so it just sort of brings in a lot of the stuff that's happened over jeans over the last, I guess the original Gene Pirelli bought it in 44, 45, something like that.
Yeah, this is actually the oldest bar in Morgantown.
All right, that's cool.
So it's a lot of history, and
Such hospitable people and such nice people. I can't say enough about it. Thank you, Al.
yeah, but for another thankful for all of us agrees. Like I said, this Facebook page, Team Scott. I mean, you guys really helped out Dave Neese on this.
Yeah.
Really have. You guys.
Yeah, thanks for that.
There's new team members coming in every day. Like I said, we're not done. I think Dave wants something like this to continue. This is something we can do every now and then, twice, maybe 3 times a year. Now this is my first go around tonight of how this worked out. It worked out great. Obviously, we're live, we're chatting, people can hear us. It's better. We're mic'd up compared to live Facebook chat. But also, I mean, if you guys like ghost hunting, you're on the channel now. Let's scroll down below and click that subscribe button. You'll be able to check out Ronnie Gaskins, who was the main guy who solved this case for Dave. I was just second lead on it. He's on the team. And I'm telling you what, we got some good stuff coming up.
Please hit that subscribe button because that helps Chris a lot.
They did ask on one of the questions, I didn't want to bring it up in the middle, but they did ask some of the places that you've done that will be coming up. Some of the
All the ghost hunts. So some of the places. All right. So the Denny House is getting ready to get released. It's going to be a 3-part series. The first one you saw was the Greene County Historical Society, which was in Waynesburg. Also in Waynesburg was the Denny House. That's going to be a 3-part series. Oh God, give me a second to think about this. Third one, that was actually.
Somebody just poked me on the shoulder.
Probably
We're talking about ghosts.
This place should probably be next. Langdon Hill House is after that. That's Gettysburg. That's with Minnie and all that. You're really going to like that one. We have the Jewish Center that is in Uniontown, PA. We caught some really good stuff. We actually caught what we call lurch on the SLS camera. And the SLS camera is that little stick figure camera you see on other ghost hunting shows. But that son of a bitch was leaning over as high as the ceiling. We caught some demonic, I'd say demonic, but like some very gargled, nasty voices mimicking our questions. Steph got to hear and threw up. We heard a scream and I actually threw the headphones
I don't do
off.
demonic.
It's stuff we can't figure out. We got the Huffman House, which is located in Flatwoods or Sutton area. We got the Bond County Art Center. We actually had some really good stuff that came out of that.
Oh, cool.
We got the I'm getting mixed up. I think the Heyman House. I can't remember if the Heyman House is Sutton or the Huffman House is Waynesburg. Either or, we got a lot of good places. We got a library in Waynesburg that we did. The Bowlby House, that's really good. We're getting ready to do, we were supposed to have a ghost hunt this past weekend in Elkins, but it came down to it's just going to be Ronnie and I, and this place is like 99 bedrooms. It's it's an old hospital, back Civil War, and just Ronnie and I agree. I mean, it's just two of us can't do with the amount of equipment I have. There's just no way two of us could do it. We could do it with 3, but smaller place 3 easy, but this place is too big. I need a full team to do this place. Actually, Al told us about doing jeans here. He's had a lot of stories of ghosts here.
Guarantee it.
But also the Southern team, we're getting ready to kick up because now I got Dave Toller and all them. We're going to start hitting Savannah, all through the coast of South Carolina, all the really, really good places. So we're looking at the USS Yorktown, the USS North Carolina, the old county jailhouse in Charleston. There's a theater in Charleston. There's a theater in Savannah, an old brewery in Savannah. We're even looking at St. Augustine. So we're going to be up and down the East Coast. Also, we were invited, actually had an employee from the Lizzie Borden house invite our team to come up and check it out. But that's Massachusetts or around that area, so that's a little bit of a drive and planning for us. So we're really expanding and opening up. So we're getting there.
That's cool.
But it's like I said, it's going to be nonstop once we get started.
And there is, somebody had asked about social media. Does Echoes have a social media? There is a Facebook page and also an Instagram. And if you guys do know of any places that, or any businesses or that would like to have, an investigation, you can reach out to Chris and Ronnie as well on those social media pages. And
So, okay. Ronnie definitely got the Instagram page set up. It's, I think it's Echoes Paranormal on Instagram. He's got a TikTok page set up. I attempted to set up a Facebook page, and for some reason they were giving me major problems. I get all the way up to the step to start the page, and it kicked me back, and just kept kicking me back. Everything's set up, and I apologize. I have not finished out on that. Just been busy. Hell, I haven't been able to work on editing the Denny House show. My main focus is trying to get the shows going, but yes, I will have a Facebook page set up. That way, kind of like Team Skylar, people will be more interactive, and I'll be able to post all of my videos on that page as well. Once I get that up, rock and rolling, trust me, we'll get it out there. I'm sure Dave will put it on Team Skylar for me.
Yeah, sure.
So we'll get going from there.
Well,
Yeah, and I want to throw in a thing I don't think we mentioned it when we were talking about the co-ed murders. There's a great podcast that we did. It's got 8 or 10 episodes, I think, that goes into that in great length, and we've had
where can we get
several million hits
hear
on
that?
that.
I mean,
WVU Co-ed Murders.
okay.
On
It's a really good podcast. I learned
Yeah.
a lot from it.
Yeah,
It's awesome if Geoff had anything to do
very
with it.
good.
It's awesome.
Kendall Perkinson, Sarah McLaughlin now. The three of us teamed up and did it, and Sarah and I wrote the book on the co-ed murders.
Okay, I think we're gonna hang it up for tonight.
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for
Yeah,
being
thank
out
you.
there, for listening to us, and we hope to do this again. It's going to depend on you. So let us know what you think, and let us know if you want to do another one, and we will try our hardest to get it up for you. Thank you guys. We love you.
Have a good night, guys.
Are we